Living on the Coast is proudly brought to you by Holiday Haven Tourist Parks. Planning your next adventure to the South Coast. Visit holidayhaven.com.au for more information.
A boat is something in which you can travel across water, explore bays and rivers. Cris George has discovered a mystery tinny, which he believes was one of the first to be made here on the coast. He hopes to find its original owner and builder.
Your name's not down, you know.
Well, we haven't seen any other tinnies that are 61 years old, so we figured because this one's 61 years old, it must be one of the first. Tinny, according to the Australian Dictionary of Slang, is a small, domestic, open aluminium boat used for recreation and fishing. We believe it was made at Callala Bay by a resident of Callala Bay, or perhaps a resident of Sydney who also had a property at Callala Bay. Been made from the centre fuselage of a small amphibian called a Republic Seabee that was imported into Australia in about the year 1959. The aircraft was damaged at Bankstown in a fire, that much we know, and then we believe it came into the hands of a local aircraft engineer who made it into a boat. Well, they were a light amphibian that were produced and just over 1,000 were produced in the years 46 and 47 to take advantage of the great industrial capacity that existed after World War II. There's still about 200 of them flying in a large enthusiast group in the States, but none are presently. This is the last remnant, we believe, that's in Australia. I think it demonstrates a great degree of innovation, and that's what my small group of volunteers attracted us to. Somebody obviously saw in a burnt out aircraft the possibility of a boat, so he obviously pursued that and made a boat, and I guess you could say that's how things were done in those days. The boat was presented to the Naval Aviation Museum in about the year 2000 by a lady who lived at Callala Bay. Although a record was made at the time, that record was disposed of, it seems, when the boat was disposed of. And the museum, the Naval Aviation Museum, agreed that we could offer the boat to Lady Denman so it could be appropriately preserved. Unfortunately, because the record is lost, we don't know who presented it to the museum. There's no writing anywhere on the boat that we can find, so we're doing a bit of detective work to see if we can locate it, because obviously Lady Denman is interested in the background of the boat, particularly if they represent it as an artefact of local maritime significance. Well, we think it's absolutely fantastic because of that. You know, it seems to represent that part of Shoalhaven's history and indeed presence today. You know, the aviation and the maritime history. You know, both go back to the roots of the place. Well, we believe it should be preserved for posterity in the Lady Denman Museum. So today's generation and future generations can look at this and see how things were done in the late 50s and 60s. Somebody wanted a boat, so he built it using materials that were to hand. Well, the ideal world is that we could find out who made it, who's looked after it since it was built in the late 50s, early 60s, record all that, then present it to Lady Denman. And we hope Lady Denman will be interested in it and stow it inside so it becomes a permanent exhibit.